And now it is time for another version of St. Louis 7, following a Overtime with Oliver episode with esteemed author Rob Rains. Rob talked a lot about your books, a lot about St. Louis, and you're working on, what's the project you're working on now?
Actually helping Charlie Gito do his autobiography, his memoirs. So we've got most of it done. We actually have to be able to get back in the restaurant when it opens up to get the pictures and everything finished up. But hopefully it'll be out maybe sometime this fall.
Excellent. All right, so time for St. Louis 7. You ready?
Yeah. Do I have a time limit on these, or are these like?
No, take as little as long as you want. You're going to know the first question. The first question is, where'd you go to high school and what do you remember?
Well, I started actually at Glendale High School in Springfield, and then Kickapoo High School opened when I was a sophomore. So I finished up the last 3 years at Kickapoo, and just remember being a great time, great period of being able to be there at the beginning and be involved in that. My mom was the librarian at the high school, so it was just a fun time.
You were a chief.
Kickapoo Chiefs.
And during the episode, we talked about Springfield a little bit, and we talked about the fact that they still have the old Steak and Shakes out there. When you go to Steak and Shake, what do you like to order?
Patty melt with fries.
Shake?
Chocolate milkshake.
There you go. Where was your first slinger?
First slinger. Where I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with.
You know,
down the street.
It's got the eggs and the cheese and the chili all on top of each other. Never had one?
Courtesy Diner, I guess, has those. Yeah, I'm not a on meat kind of guy.
When you encounter 10 stop signs, how many do you roll?
3, depending on the street, depending on how busy the street is.
Favorite Emo's pizza toppings?
Meat lovers or all meat, sausage, bacon, pepperoni.
When people come to St. Louis, where do you take them?
Somewhere on the hill. Usually Adriana's is one of our favorite little sandwich kind of places.
Gito's.
Yeah, a lot of there's a lot of great places. You can't go wrong with any of those places on the hill. But yeah, we usually go down there. Canetto's is a good spot. There's a lot of great places. We Highway 61 Roadhouse is owned by a good friend of ours, so that's a good place. King Edward's Chicken is a little King Edward's Fish and Chicken on Watson Road. It's a good little hangout with a good friend of ours that owns it as well, Gabe and Randy Shore. Yeah,
I talked to Bill Kuntz, I guess about 3 weeks ago. You know, he can open up now. Haven't talked to him since, he was 50-50. I shouldn't say that. It's a little out of school. He was really struggling with the fact that his restaurant is an experience. And so if you can't go in and have the experience, it's just not the same regardless of how good the food is.
Correct. Yeah, I think that's a lot of something that Gito's is struggling with a little bit too, about whether they, they're going to try to open up when they can, but they haven't been doing any kind of curbside business or any of that kind of stuff because really it's not their area of expertise.
This one's tougher for you than others. Do you happen to have a favorite sporting event that you attended in St. Louis?
One single game?
Yeah, this one's tough for you.
No, Game 6 of the 2011 World Series.
Okay.
Simply, maybe not necessarily going into it, but the way it turned out. I would say that game, I was at Game 6, I covered Game 6 of the 1991 playoff games when Joe Carter hit the home run off Mitch Williams in Toronto, at 93, I guess it was. I was also at, the game in Atlanta where Sid Bream scored on the play when the Braves rallied and knocked the Pirates out of the playoffs. I was at that game. Covered Bob Force's second no-hitter in St. Louis. So, there's a lot of them.
How many times did you have to rewrite the lead for the Freeze game?
Well, luckily I wasn't doing deadline stuff, so I didn't have to. I was able to kind of wait till that game was over. The challenge to that game was I'd actually had signed a contract with Triumph Books to do a quickie book on the Cardinals winning the World Series. So I had a financial stake involved in the outcome of both Game 6 and Game 7. If the Cardinals didn't win that series, then it would have gotten a kill fee for basically doing the work up to that point. But 90% of the book was done at that point. So I was just hoping that from a financial, purely personal reason, it would help me out if the Cardinals won that game.
So for people who have not checked out the website, it is stlsportspage.com. It's a fantastic website. I mean, it's old school. You got tons of stuff all over that page.
I appreciate it.
You can spend days looking, and you keep it updated all the time. And you recently have debuted your own podcast. The name of that again is?
Well, it's just during this little quarantine period that we're going through right now. It's called Weathering the Storms of Life with the Ranges. And Sally and I go up there and ask them trivia questions. We started out with generic trivia kind of stuff, and now we've been switching it over to do mostly Cardinals-related trivia. So, as I say, we're figuring out what we're going to do next. We've gone through Hall of Fame players. We've gone through the decades. So now we're searching for what the next set of questions are going to be.
And your wife Sally's book is named?
Choose Happy is the latest one. She's done a number of books before that too, but the latest one is called Choose Happy, Finding Contentment in Any Situation.
So last question for Rob Rames. And again, thanks for the time. Thanks for the episode. If you haven't seen it, or for people who want to listen to the episode, it's wherever you get your podcasts or on the website, otwitholiver.com. Rob, what makes you proud to be a St. Louisan?
The people. I think it's a great place to raise a family. We've got a great neighborhood of people that are very involved with the, activities. And it's just, I just enjoy everybody that I work with. I think, it's a friendly town. It's a safe town. It's, it's a big town, but it's still a small city in terms of, we're good friends with people that we met through when the kids were in school, that we got involved with band activities or, project graduation activities, and, still see those guys and just, I say I enjoy all the people that I work with at the ballpark. So just, I just think it's a real friendly town that, it's a big town, but still has the feelings of being a small place.
Enjoy your Mother's Day weekend.
Thank you. You too. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.